Welcome, everyone, to another Wednesday night. I know it's Tuesday. Thank you all for joining the Fundamentals to Gain Inner Peace with your host, Coach Menachem Bernfeld. And here we are. Thank you, everyone, for the feedback I got on last week's session. We started a little bit of writing, and everybody with their unique feedback. Last week we explored the inner landscape. We chose an emotion. Some people chose positive, some negative, and we wrote about it. And it is a very powerful tool. So basically, you find a relaxed place. We imagine going somewhere to your relaxed state. It helps you get to that place. And then you start writing about it. And then you can write whatever comes up. You know, when you have time, you want to write about something that's on your heart. There are many different ways of writing, but it's a different state of mind. And then we came up with an emotion. And after we're done, you sit back and you look, what did I write? What came out? And it's interesting sometimes to reflect on your own writing to see what came out, what was on your mind, how you wrote. And it's something to look at, to talk about. You can discuss it with yourself. And if you have a friend or a therapist, something you can bring into the room and say, look at this. It was very interesting. I wrote about this situation and look at how it came out, something to talk about. So basically, the writing itself takes you to a different state, and then you can reflect. And you got a poem last week, from a writer, somebody that had a hard time writing for the past few months, and now while you put yourself in that state, the juices start flowing. You're in a different place. So it's very healthy and it's healing. It could be healing for things that have to heal. Basically, there's movement, there's a flow, things come out. And it's important that you don't try to write, handwriting, grammar. Don't think about those. That's all logic. You don't want to be there. You just want to just keep on writing. So it's a tool and a powerful tool. And tonight we'll do a little bit more of writing. So before we start, let's get grounded. Tonight we're going to write a little bit about embracing change and growth. Change and growth, and we'll see how that goes. So let's get grounded, make yourself comfortable, feet on the floor, take a deep breath, and just be in the moment. Come aware of where you are, where you're coming from, what your day look like, what's going on. And after you become aware of the moment, you turn inwards to see, what does your body feel? What am I feeling? Where is the tension? Pay attention to the tension. Do a fast body scan from head to toe. You can start by your head and slowly, you don't have to change anything, just place awareness on your head, your forehead, your eyes, just to see what it feels like going down, cheeks, your mouth, your shoulders, your hands, your chest, your stomach, all the way down to your feet, all the way down to your toes, and then back up. Another deep breath. Beautiful. And if during the day you don't have time to breathe, at least now you have a few minutes. Just take a deep breath all the way in and let it all out. Allow yourself to be in this space, to be here for a few minutes. Okay, so let's get started. You can take out your pen and pencil, paper. If you like typing, you can type. Find the place where you're gonna type, and again, don't be so busy with the stationery, with the handwriting or anything. Just let it flow. Free writing, let it go. Okay. So here we go. Let's start this journey. Let's embark on this journey, on this guided writing exercise that focuses on embracing change and personal growth. This exercise is designed to help you reflect on the changes in your life and how they have shaped who you are. Again, it's a safe space. No one has to see what you're writing. It's private. You don't have to share it if you don't want to. If you want to share, you can share, but you don't have to. And just write as if no one is going to see it, it's only yourself. So let's begin. And close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. And first, we're going to do the first exercise like we did last week. So imagine a place where you feel completely at peace. You can choose a space, any place you want. It could be a real place where you have been in the past, or you can create it. Just take a moment to visualize, see yourself there with all the details, with your five senses. Feel as if you're there, the colors, the sounds, smells, the texture. Make it as real as possible and feel the sense of calm and safety. Now, for a moment, you can start writing. Describe the place that you just created. Just write about it. So it makes it real. Let it come out. Where are you? What does it look like? Write it down. Might be at the beach, on top of a mountain, in a quiet space. What do you hear? What do you smell? How do you feel? And just keep on writing. Let it flow. Whatever comes to your mind, put it on a piece of paper. See if it's the same. See if it's the same as last week, or maybe it's different. Why you chose a new place? Why did you choose this place? Okay. Now that you're in your safe space and comfortable, we can go to the next step. Think about a significant change you've experienced in your life. It could be a positive one or a challenging one, any change. Or something in between, anything that comes up, you choose. Take a moment to visualize the change, how it impacted you. And for some of you, it might be harder to think about something, but just whatever comes to your mind. It doesn't have to be significant, but any change. And when you're ready, start writing about this change. Describe what it was, what happened, how you felt during this time, how it influenced your life, what changed. And let your thoughts flow. Whatever comes up, just write it down. Don't worry about anything else. Keep on writing. Any change that comes up, any change that comes up in your mind, it doesn't have to be positive. Whatever comes up, something big, something small, something that you speak about, something that you don't speak about. Now's the time you can write about it. Let it flow. Whatever comes up, just write it down. Doesn't have to make sense. How you felt during that time. What was the change? Now think about how you've grown as a result of that change. What new skills did you gain? New insights, strengths, how you evolved as a person, just looking back all those years from then till now. Write about your growth, about the development, and just keep on writing. And if you stopped, you feel you have nothing to write, write about what you wrote already. Take one of those words and write about that. Try to see the full picture, the challenges and the positive aspects, both sides. Again, just let the words flow naturally. what it was, how it made you feel, what was the change, where are you now as a person, how did you take it, looking back. Beautiful. If you need more time, if you're listening to the recording, you can always pause and keep on writing. But for now, the next step is to envision your future. How do you want to continue growing and changing? Things always come up. Try to see where do you want to go. What goals? What goals do you have? Hopes and dreams for the future. Short-term goals, long-term goals. If nothing is holding you back, where would you want to go? What do you want to do? Let the thoughts come up and keep on writing. Where do you want to see yourself in a year? In all different areas in your life. You don't have to think if it's possible or not. Just write it. Keep on writing. And think about what steps you can take, small baby steps, to embrace the change, the personal growth, moving forward. Something small that you can do. Okay, keep on writing. Keep on writing. Let it flow. Let the ideas come. And if you need more time, you can always pause the recording. But for now, just take a deep breath and let's reflect. Let's look at what did I write? What does the paper look like? What ideas came out? Thoughts, interesting things, things you never thought about. How you feel now after you wrote down whatever you wrote. Just explore these thoughts, these emotions, looking back. Just when you finish writing, put down the pen, take a deep breath, and look at it. What does it say? Is it something you knew, something you didn't know, something that came up, something that always bothered you, something positive, something negative? And you can write about these reflections, write the ideas that came up, the way you look at it from the outside. And it's always good after you do a writing, it's necessary to do some processing. There were some movement while you wrote, some, the juices flowing, letting things come out. And now when we're done, we process. Let's process what we wrote and looking at it. Is it something that you knew about all along, nothing new, or different things came up? I think just think about it. It's your space, your time to process and understand the growth, the change from the past, and the change and growth of the future. Just take a moment to reflect. Okay, again, if you're writing, keep on writing. And for now, it's just to thank yourself for taking some time to do some guided writing exercise, something that could help. And remember, whenever you do it, the goal is not to produce perfect writing. It doesn't have to be a beautiful poem. It's just to connect with yourself, be in touch with yourself. And then you reflect on your journey. Where am I? Where am I coming from? What are my plans? And if you feel comfortable, you can share in the chat just things that came up, different ideas, and any questions. And let's see if we can process things together, different ideas that came up. Writing can be a powerful tool, and especially with the feedback that I got. Thank you all for the feedback. In the beginning, people have a hard time writing. They're not used to it. They're not sure what to write. But if you're in that space, that means you're in your head. We're trying to get out of our heads and just let it write. So you're going to ask me, but my thoughts are also in my head. That's true. Just keep on writing. When those skeptical thoughts come up, should I write it like this? Should I write like that? Am I doing it right? That's not important. But, anything else that comes up, you can write. And then you give yourself just a little bit of time to let yourself be. Because again, this is an exercise that does become in touch with your deep inner self. Okay, it should be done in a safe space. It should be done when you're not going to be disturbed, time that you could spend in that imaginary place that you created. And then when you're done, always, take a deep breath, come back to the room. You can just put down your pen and just see how you feel. Just see what you feel. Okay, many people came up with different questions while they were writing, different thoughts. So that's good, something to think about, to look at. Different ideas from life comes up. It could be from years ago. Something that could be you never spoke about. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you everybody for being so open. This was great. Came up with a lot of new stuff. What if the way I want to change and grow isn't really positive for me, but I feel will help me, although in reality it's not really good for me? Great question. Something to sit with, something to write about, because obviously there is so much more going on. And the writing itself can help you become in touch with what's where you are. Why do you want to do what you want to do? And it's always good to reach out to somebody that knows you, somebody you talk to discuss. But this is a real good place to start the awareness. Something that people could do with their therapists. Many times you're in a place where you're stuck. You said everything already. You don't know, this is who I am, these are my problems, and this is what it is. Why should I say it again? And there's like, you feel stuck. But with writing, sometimes you take one thing, and when you're in a relaxed state, no pressure, start writing about it and see what comes up. And again, we're not making any decisions based on what we wrote. We're not making any major decisions. It's just becoming aware, different aspects, different things in our life that we should talk about, we should think about. There are things that we have to let go, things that people are holding on. Forgiveness is a big one. Something that you're holding on for many years. And like we all know, forgiveness is not for that person, it's for yourself. Because if you can't forgive, that means you're walking around with it all day. You're holding on tight. And again, it's not an easy topic. Forgiving is not easy, but something to think about, something to write about. Beautiful. If you came up with questions while you wrote, write down those questions. And when you have time, come back to those questions and continue writing. Amazing, amazing. New stuff coming up. Keep on learning. And again, the most important piece is to understand that it's not, etched in stone. It's free writing. Just keep on writing when you're relaxed. What am I going to do with it? We'll see. We will see. Let these thoughts come up. But it's like coming out of a therapist's room when you talk about things that are hard to talk about. Not always do you have the solution. Not always do you understand. Sometimes you can be confused. And we mentioned many times confusion sometimes is good. Why? Because that means there's some change. Some things are moving. We could be walking around with our story for so many years. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is how I feel. This is my story. And that's it. And every day you wake up with the same person. And we all want to see change. We want to grow. By thinking the same way, you're probably going to do the same thing. To change, we have to start thinking different, seeing different things. So that's movement. If you're stuck for so many years and now we start seeing some movement, you might see some changes. You might be a little bit nervous. What am I feeling? What am I thinking? What's going on? I've never been there, never discussed it. Take a deep breath, keep on breathing. Don't forget deep breathing. Spend a few minutes a day so that you can let things flow, process. And again, if it needs guidance, reach out to somebody that you talk to, discuss it with somebody so that they can help you process, help you understand, and then eventually learn what the next step is, the growth, the change that we're looking for. So thank you very much. And thank yourself for showing up today, for showing up, taking some time for yourself. And try it out. There are different ways of writing. You can write a letter to your inner child. You can write a letter to your parents. You can write a letter to somebody that's not around anymore. You can write with your left hand. You can write different, you know, different things that you're thinking about. Just write it and see how you feel, see what happens, see what comes out. And if you feel comfortable sharing, you can always send it to coachmenachem@gmail.com. Any questions, coachmenachem@gmail.com, and we'll try to answer. Not always do I get to answer all the emails, but many times just the feedback is amazing to see how people are doing the work. And the recordings for the Wednesday night recordings, menachembernfeld.com. And enjoy. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking some time for yourself. Have a good night, and the Menachem, we'll see you next week, Wednesday night. Thank you.